One thing that I've always had is a lot of feelings, and I think climbing brings out some of the best and the worst of those feelings. I've wanted to talk about the feelings that I've experienced as a climber for a while now, but I never really knew exactly how to approach it. When I woke up this morning to see a comment like this on one of my favorite climbing YouTubers' channels, I decided to actually sit down and take some time to think about what I wanted to say about climbing and feeling. And today I'm going to explore one of those major feelings that I have heard from a lot of different climbers. That common feeling is jealousy. I want to make it perfectly clear that I'm not here to attack anyone. In fact, I'm trying to actually do the opposite. I want climbers that experience jealousy to learn some ways to cope with that feeling and deal with it in a healthy manner that can not only help them become a better climber, but a better human. I know that there are a lot of climbers out there that feel jealous, and how do I know that? I know that because I hear it. I hear it at my gym. I hear it at other gyms. I hear it at Craig's. I'm in a lot of online forums and I see it there. And of course I know it because I feel it myself. Jealousy is a normal human emotion that everyone feels. It's what do we do with that jealousy that really determines what type of a person and a climber that we are. Like everyone else, I do my best to tell jealousy that my head is not for rent, but is an ongoing negotiation. So what exactly is jealousy and why do we feel it? And how can we apply that in a climbing-related context? I asked my friend that's a clinical professional counselor her thoughts on jealousy, and here's what she had to say. I think a lot of times there can be an emotion underneath jealousy, usually a feeling of inadequacy or that we aren't good enough. If you are a jealous person, I would say do some reflecting on why you are jealous. Is it because you want the thing? Or is it because you want to be the person? Maybe you feel like you aren't good enough, and it's easier to feel jealous than it is to feel bad about yourself. Once you've figured out why you are jealous, take action. One of my favorite Olympic runners, Alexi Pappas, had this book, and basically in her book she said that there are a series of steps in order to change our feelings. The first step is action, which will change our thoughts, and then in turn change our feelings in that specific order. And this has been a really revelationary sentiment for me in my own life and in my climbing. With that being said, here are 3 specific actions that you can take to help deal with the feeling of jealousy. The first one is focus on your strengths. Write some down. My 3 strengths are positivity, flexibility, and crimps. Focusing on these 3 strengths allows me to see that these are things that other people might be struggling with, and that I should be grateful to have them. And this is not to say, haha, I have them and you don't. This is entirely separate from other climbers. It's really good and healthy to focus on your strengths and celebrate them within yourself, completely independent of any other climbers. The next action is to use positive affirmations. Here are some positive affirmations that I like to use. The first one is, I have my own unique set of strengths, and it's up to me to improve my weaknesses. The second one is, other climbers' successes are independent of my own success. And lastly, I like to say, show up for yourself today. I like that it's vague, but it really makes me think, what am I doing to show up for myself and my own climbing today? You can use whatever positive affirmations that you would like, but try using them to replace any thoughts of jealousy that you may have. Someone told me this, that your first thought is often like a false thought, and your second thought is a real thought, and I thought that was really cool. So if your first thought is jealousy, you can take the time to make your second thought a positive affirmation and something that's going to improve yourself as a person and as a climber. Obviously, this is going to be hard at first, but keep practicing and you'll get better at it. Remember, your actions change your thoughts and then your feelings. So jealousy is a feeling and can only be first changed by taking an action. An example of this in my own life is it's really easy for me, as someone that's pretty short, to look at a climber and think, oh, well, of course they got that. They're really tall. But I can take that positive affirmation, I have my own unique set of strengths, and replace that thought of jealousy with something positive that's going to encourage me to become a better climber. The last action is to learn about your weaknesses from your jealousy of other climbers. Think about a climber that you're jealous of, and the reason that you're jealous is likely one of two things: either something that you can change or something that you can't change. And I'll use an example from my own life. I have a friend that just seems to have insane core tension, and every time she climbs, I'm like, how is her core tension so good? Luckily, this is an action that I can take, right? I can do exercises to improve my core tension, and that is entirely separate and independent from her success as a climber and her success at having good core tension. Instead, it's going to help if I take action to improve my own core tension through taking actual action and doing the exercises. It's as simple as that. And over time, once my core tension improves, I'm sure I'll find another thing to be upset about. It's just the way that your brain works as a human. The same friend is a bit taller than me, so she has an easier time reaching some holds that I can't because I'm a bit shorter. But focusing on this is not going to improve me as a climber whatsoever. It's not something that I can change. And that's the big distinction here. Focus on things that you can change. Overall, jealousy is a normal human emotion. It's good to have feelings and emotions. You can't control your feelings and emotions, but you can control the actions that you take because of them. I'm trying, like I think we all are, to be a better human every day. No one is perfect, and that's what makes life interesting. Things like this take time, but it's worth it to become a more supportive and better part of your climbing community. Compete against the rock, not against your friends. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, stay hyped.